Hey crew, so the good old god mode exotic, the Lorely Splendor, caught a nerf yesterday. It now provides restoration ×1, which is okay, it's definitely not bad, but it's not unkillable anymore like it once was. But don't worry you healing, never dying titans, I got you guys covered. As you can see in the gameplay, we are arguably in the hardest activity in the game, which is the 1600 Master Duality Dungeon. The only thing harder is a GrandMaster, and let's be real, some of the older ones are just cakewalks now. All the enemies have swords above them, so we're pretty underleveled here, and we are also in here solo. I did this for about 8 minutes back and forth between the two rooms, just seeing how long I could stay alive, and we are unkillable as long as you keep up the different buffs, and it's pretty easy to do as you can see. I took parts from my Unkillable arc build that I posted a few days ago, and I think this is the mod setup I'm going to run in difficult content probably the rest of the season. We just have some insane damage reduction going on, and we make it last long enough, and then we add in the different parts of healing from the subclass and the mods we're using, and it all just comes together in what you're seeing. It basically lets us out heal the damage we take because we have so much damage reduction going on, and then we add in the 2 sources of healing with this build that basically make it restoration ×2, and as you can see, we just out heal everything. If you have any doubts, go try the Master Duality Dungeon solo like this without a build, and it won't go so well for you. If you do enjoy this video or find it helpful, then make sure to hit that subscribe button for me and become part of the crew here. And if you'd like to become a member and get a one-stop shop to all my builds like you see on screen here, and also get access to the members only Discord section where I talk back and forth with a lot of you guys, then make sure to click the link in the pinned comment and I'll see you guys all over there. And if you do choose to do so, I really appreciate it. I want you guys to remember that when we're on the Titan subclass and you make a sunspot and you step through it, that's called Soul Invictus, and you get the Soul Invictus buff on your left hand side. Now the Soul Invictus buff heals you, along with giving you ability regen, but the main part is the healing, and that healing is essentially restoration ×1. So instead of using the Loreley helmet here, we're just going to create as many sunspots as possible, because if we can just get the Soul Invictus buff and keep that up, that's like having restoration ×1, but we don't have to get up our exotic slot to do so. As far as weapons go, use whatever you want and maybe whatever the activity requires you to be using if you're dealing with champions, but this build doesn't require any specific weapon, so use whatever you want. I was using the new Quicksilver auto rifle in the gameplay that you're watching, and it's a pretty fun gun, I'm not gonna lie. I think I might do its own build with it eventually. We are gonna be using a mod that requires a kill, so it would be nice to use something that's gonna get you a kill. Maybe that's like the Deliverance fusion rifle in your primary, packs quite a punch when you hit an enemy with it, right, and can normally kill it right away for you. That will help with the whole mod and wells process, so just a heads up there. I was using the Null Composure, the Void fusion rifle, so I could break the Void shields on the Bellkeepers pretty easily. It's also your choice on whatever super you want to use. Remember, Burning Maul did get a pretty good buff not too long ago in PvE, but I still personally like the throwing hammers just for that extra range, mobility, and overall I feel like it's just a little bit better. For the subclass, make sure you're on throwing hammer because you can still throw it, pick it up, and it grants you that cure. You're healed in a burst of mending solar light, so that's another way to heal yourself just in case you're in a pinch. I'm using Thermite Grenade because I still like Thermite Grenade on a Titan the best. For your 2 aspects, of course, Soul Invictus, like I said earlier, you're going to create those sunspots when you get an ability kill, and then the sunspot applies Scorch and deals damage to targets inside. And then when we enter that sunspot, it applies that restoration to us, that healing. Your abilities regenerate faster, and your super drains more slowly while standing in sunspots on top of everything else. And then we're going with the new melee, the Consecration. While sliding, activate your charge melee to launch a wave of solar energy forward, damaging and scorching targets in front of you as you leap into the air, so it automatically scorches. While airborne, activate your charge melee again to slam the ground and create a second larger wave of damaging solar energy. If the wave hits a scorch target, they ignite. So no matter the scorch stacks happening with this build, you're gonna automatically ignite something as long as you hit something that is scorched. That's why I really like this melee, and it's so strong. You can always go the throwing hammer route with Synthoceps, right? But I just like the new ability. It's an AoE, add clear, and I just feel so much more powerful using this than I do using the little squeaky throwing hammer. For the fragments, this is all about looping abilities, so Ember of Singeing, your class ability recharges faster when you scorch targets. We're going to take Ember of Torches, so every time that we use this Consecration melee, we're going to make ourselves radiant. We're going to make any weapon we're using deal that extra 20% damage, which is just great. Ember of Searing for our 3rd one, defeating scorched targets grants melee energy. So now between Ember of Singeing and Ember of Searing, we're getting melee energy and we're getting class ability energy just by using our melee. And then lastly, we have Ember of Eruption. Your solar ignitions have increased area of effect to make that boom when we come down and slam those hammers that much bigger. For your stats, aim for 100 resilience for sure, because that's your damage reduction. You can push up your discipline or strength or maybe recovery, whatever you want, but this build is so flexible that really the 100 resilience is the main thing you want to be trying to hit. For our mods, let's go over those and make sure to pay attention because this is huge damage reduction and healing. On the helmet, we have Well of Life. Every time we pick up a solar well, we're going to get healing. This is basically like a restoration ×1. So when we add this on top of our restoration from the sunspots from Sol Invictus, that's what's double healing us through basically everything that we're doing, and then we're going to tank so much more damage with our mods, it's going to make it a lot easier. Ashes to Assets for more grenade energy. On our gauntlets, we're going Reaping Wellmaker after activating your class ability, which we're going to be doing a lot. Your next weapon final blow on any combatant spawns a Void Elemental Well. This is how we're going to create a Void Elemental Well, and that's going to be our damage reduction, and we're going to make it last longer, and we're going to make Well of Life last longer. Remember, any weapon kill will spawn that Void Well, and you have the bonus damage of torches on your weapon, so it's really easy to get the weapon kill. On your chest piece, we're going with Well of Tenacity, so when we pick up that Void Elemental Well, we get that reduced damage from combatants. This only lasts 5 seconds, but we're going to bump it up to 9. More damage reduction on your chest piece if you can. Lay Wellmaker on the boots, so this is the way we're going to create that solar well to proc Well of Life for us, and then the solar 1 well just adds to the ability loop of our solar subclass. Both Innervation and Recuperation if you're using a solar right here, right, to spawn the Harmonic Siphon Orbs of Power. And then on our class item, we have Elemental Time Dilation. Elemental well mods that grant you time-limited benefits can now stack, increasing the duration of the effect for each copy of the mod you have equipped. Now I know it says they can now stack, but just because we have 1 Well of Life on, right, which is normally about 9 to 10 seconds, we're bumping this thing up to 14 seconds, just by having the 1 time dilation on. So now we have Well of Life lasting 14 seconds. We have Sol Invictus sunspots that literally last like 20 seconds when you stand in them. And then we're bumping up our Well of Tenacity here, and this is going up to 9 seconds. So basically you have 9 seconds of God mode, right? Because you're getting the 40% damage reduction from Well of Tenacity, you're getting the damage reduction from Resilience, you're getting the damage reduction from your chest piece, and then you're healing with Well of Life, you're healing with Sol Invictus, and you're making all that last longer with time dilation and just repeating that loop over and over. We have 2 utility kickstarts on as well to kickstart that barricade, just so we can always pop the barricade to always proc our Reaping Wellmaker, right? And then it also is proccing Heart of Inmost Light. Speaking of Heart of Inmost Light, I almost forgot about that. Using an ability, Grenade, Melee, or Barricade empowers the other 2 abilities. Empowered means abilities have faster regen. Melees and grenades do more damage, and barricades have more hit points. You guys all know what Heart of Inmost Light does. It's still the best in class for a Titan on anything that you can be doing because it just gives so much benefits. It gives ability regen to all abilities, and it buffs those damage output, right? So it's buffing our Consecration. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.